and head of the Graduate School of Business and Leadership. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to our 2020 virtual open day of the Graduate School. We thank you for considering the Graduate School to pursue your education in postgraduate studies. The choice of business school is one of the most important decisions of an individual's life. I believe the graduate school is the right choice for bright individuals who wish to learn and be prominent in a world-class institution, individuals like you. The historical context of education in South Africa is especially important to the Graduate School of Business and Leadership, which was founded in 1974. The Graduate School of Business and Leadership was the first historically Black state university that was authorized to grant the MBA degree in South Africa. We are also a research-led business school that nurtures innovative thinking. We instill this way of thinking in our postgraduate students so that when you leave us, you continue with this innovative mindset. We are fully accredited by the Council of Higher Education in South Africa. We are proud to be ranked third place nationally by PMR Africa Survey of Business Schools. We have 3 Palms of Excellence received from Edu Universal Ranking. We are a full member of South African Association Business Schools, as well as the Association of African Business Schools. Quality is at the heart of the Graduate School of Business and Leadership. We are infused with a culture of innovation and entrepreneurial thinking. We create quality learning experiences for students to be equipped with the agile and higher needed in today's business world, and especially post-COVID-19 pandemic. Our faculty members have excellent credentials and provide learning and teaching features that are top-notch, all of which are supported with professional staff. We engage with high-level external stakeholders. Many of our alumni are in key positions in companies based not only in the KwaZulu-Natal province, but also in South Africa and abroad globally. All our academic offerings are viewed as challenging in nature and of high quality, thus unleashing the learner's potential. Their ability to remain agile and embrace a culture of transformation are key drivers of the Graduate School of Business and Leadership. We value ethics and trust. We embrace the rich T values, which include respect, excellence, accountability, client orientation, honesty, and trust. These are essential principles and values that inspire us to understand both our past and present, and especially to prepare us for the future. Looking forward means taking responsibility. So while you are discovering how the Graduate School of Business and Leadership fits into your future, you will be pleased to know that the Graduate School is proud of its prominent role in this province as the premier provider of higher education, as well as the place where many future CEOs spent their formative years. Indeed, the Graduate School of Business and Leadership opens many doors. I'd like to quote the education philosopher Paul Freire. Education is the practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of their world. And on this note, once again, I welcome you to the Graduate School of Business and Leadership. Come and study at this graduate school. I'd like to call upon us, the 2 academic leaders, who will provide you with a snapshot of the postgraduate program offerings of the Graduate School of Business, both coursework and research. So Prof. Chasomeris and Prof. Michal, the stage is yours.
Sorry, Mickey, you need to unmute.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Professor Michalis Chasomeris. I'm an associate professor here at the Graduate School of Business and Leadership, and it is my privilege this morning to share with you about 3 of our postgraduate diploma offerings, as well as 2 of our coursework master offerings. But firstly, thank you to Professor Anna Martens for sharing with us and introducing us to some of the offerings at the business school here. And one of the things that you mentioned, Anna, was about freedom. And I think we value the freedom to choose. Even during lockdown, we still have the ability to choose our way forward in terms of education. So what I hope to do is just to briefly share with you these opportunities that you may wish to choose in the near future. I will share a screen, and these will be the brochures that are freely available on the Graduate School of Business and Leadership website. To begin with, our first postgraduate diploma in local economic development. It's a relatively new offering over the last few years, and the need was identified. Essentially at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, the business school, it's the academic home of the Regional and Local Economic Development Capacity Building Initiative, which is funded and supported by the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. Through this partnership, the school offers postgraduate programs aimed at promoting regional and local economic development, the research and learning, building critical thinking in relation to RLED, continuing professional development, creating a professional network of RLED graduates, and strengthening implementation practice of regional and local economic development institutions. These brochures are available at the Graduate School of Business and Leadership website. Each of these programs you may download for yourself. I just want to take you through some of the highlights. The postgraduate diploma in local economic development is a 2-year part-time program. In the first year, local economic development and developmental government. This is one of the modules. There's 4 modules in the first year, first semester, and first year, and 4 modules in the second year. The second module is economics for LED practitioners, strategic and project management for LED, accounting and finance for LED. And in the second year, we have integrative LED research project, which is very applied, supply chain management for LED, marketing management for LED, and sustainability in LED. Now, typically we find that government employees working in local economic development units in the municipalities, they benefit tremendously from this program. But it's not only municipal workers and LED practitioners, it's also the private sector who are involved in local economic development initiatives. It is also the non-governmental organizations where professionals choose to apply their practice in LED. And this is a valuable program to equip you with the fundamentals and take you that step further. To apply, remember www.gsbl.ukzn.ac.za. And applications for all the programs close on the 31st of October. So please don't be late and visit our website. The second postgraduate diploma is the postgraduate diploma in business administration. This postgraduate diploma is often chosen by students who wish to continue with an MBA, but it's not necessary to continue. The postgraduate diploma in business administration is offered in 1 year, part-time. In the first semester, there's 4 modules. In the second semester, there's 4 modules. And traditionally, the offerings have either been evening classes, Monday to Thursday, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., or block release, which is you come in from a Wednesday to a Saturday from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. However, with the COVID-19 lockdown, this semester things have had to change, and essentially we've turned to the block release online delivery. If the circumstances change for next year, the appropriate blended learning will be pursued. So in the first semester, the subjects that you would cover in the postgrad diploma in business administration include business research methodology, principles of business leadership and management, economics for managers, accounting for managers. And in the second semester, the 4 modules include organizational behavior, management information systems, marketing for managers, and the theory and practice of entrepreneurship. Now, what I must stress is that For each of our postgraduate diplomas, what is required as a minimum entry criteria is a bachelor's degree evaluated by SACWA at NQF level 7. Please make sure that you meet those minimum criteria before applying. And with each of these postgraduate diplomas, it doesn't have to stop there. As I mentioned, you can continue your studies. For example, the postgraduate diploma in business administration could be 1 year. Then if you meet the minimum criteria for the Masters of Business Administration, which I will share with you shortly, that could be completed in 2 years. And some of you may wish to continue to complete your doctorate. For example, we offer the Doctor of Business Administration, and that could be completed within a period of about 3 to 5 years, preferably within 3 years as we work together to accomplish those goals. Please apply online and have a look at our brochures on our website. The third postgraduate diploma offering that we provide is the Leadership Studies, postgraduate diploma in Leadership Studies. And essentially, this program is designed for working professionals to consolidate and extend their leadership capability in the institutions in which they are located. The need exists for a values and ethics-based approach to institutional leadership, which facilitates systemic change. The program caters for working professionals in organizational leadership positions who are required to work in the dynamic, complex environment of contemporary Africa and its transition agenda. So historically, this program has been offered over 2 years part-time, but I understand it may also be offered 1 year full-time. And the modules that are include the following, just to give you a taste of the kind of subjects that you would be engaged with. Advanced leadership theory and practices, organizational dynamics, strategic leadership, systems thinking, practitioner research for leaders. And then there are electives that you may choose from, which include advanced issues in leadership, critical reflection on leadership skills, managing complexity, and project leadership, a very favorable elective. Please apply online. Again, this isn't the end, and my colleague, Dr. Fano Mashau, will share with you about the full-time master's offerings and the PhD and the Doctor of Business Administration that you could continue with after completing your master's degrees. So postgrad diploma in leadership could lead to a Master of Commerce in Leadership Studies, and then you could continue with perhaps a Doctor of Philosophy in Leadership Studies. So there is a academic career trajectory. There's an opportunity to advance your skills and knowledge in the subject field. We offer a Master of Commerce in Leadership Studies over a 2-year period. And the Master of Commerce in Leadership Studies is structured, could either be a full-time by research, which Dr. Fano Mashau will share with you, or the coursework modules and a dissertation, and I will share with you about that briefly. So these are the subjects that are offered. The module offered are systems, theories, and practices, leading in turbulent environments, knowledge management, strategy and organizational dynamics, research methodology, and then there's a research dissertation, which needs to be completed within that period of 2 years. You started in the 2nd year, and you would complete it in that 2nd year. The elective modules include project management and managing partnerships. Now, who is eligible for the Master of Commerce in Leadership Studies? Essentially, what you require, here are the requirements. The requirements, the minimum requirements for the Master of Commerce in Leadership Studies include an honors degree at NQF level 8 or a postgraduate diploma at evaluated at NQF level 8. So, for example, you could complete the postgraduate diploma in Leadership Studies and then proceed to the Master of Commerce in Leadership Studies to advance your knowledge and skills in this area. The final coursework masters that we offer is the well-known MBA, the Master of Business Administration. And Professor Martins clearly spelt out for us and shared with us the significance of this program and its ranking nationally and its recognition internationally. And so I will not share that again, but it is available to have a look here on the brochure. If you want to see some of those highlights, you can look again, those 5 points. This Master of Commerce in Business Administration, I'll briefly take you through the program, and then I will share with you who is eligible for this program. This program, again, is traditionally offered in two modes: the evening class from Monday to Thursday, 6 to 9 p.m., and the block release, which is a Wednesday to a Saturday, once a month, for the 4 modules per semester, from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. Again, because of COVID lockdown, if that continues, if the lockdown situation continues and the social distancing and the university's policies and procedures we need to follow, the modules may be offered in block, online blended delivery. So the coursework structure, it's over a 2-year period. Master of the MBA, as Anna reminded us, the MBA has been offered since 1974. And over those years, even before I was born, the program has developed significantly to what we see today, in alignment with international and national best practice. And so here we have, in semester 1, you have 4 modules to complete, and semester 2, 4 modules. Very briefly, the subjects include quantitative and qualitative research methods, leadership, economics for management, which I have been lecturing since 2007, financial reporting and analysis, corporate finance and decision-making, operations and supply chain management, again in the 2nd semester, human capital management, and strategic marketing. These are the 8 modules that you would be covering in the 1st year. I remind you that this is normally for working professionals, and so we are cognizant of the fact that you have full-time work and you are capable of completing these modules in this required time. The pressure is on, but that is part of the character formation, as you will acknowledge. In the 2nd year, in the 1st semester, you have advanced strategy, and you can choose an elective from those electives you can see in the brochure. The dissertation in the 2nd year begins in the 1st semester, and you complete the dissertation by the 2nd semester of the 2nd year. Who is eligible? These are the main criteria that you need to meet. You need a postgraduate diploma at NQF level 8 or an honors degree at NQF level 8. In addition, you need to be 25 years of age on the 1st of January of the year of first registration and have a minimum of 3 years full-time work experience. And you need to have passed the GMAT test or an entrance examination prescribed by our school. And we have prescribed the APIL test, APIL. We have a private service provider. If you meet our minimum criteria, you will be invited to write the test. We will evaluate the scores and give you feedback if you have made, are eligible to be selected for the MBA program. There's the step-by-step how to apply. Please meet the admission criteria. Apply online. I remind you at www.gsbl.ukzn.ac.za. Pay the application fee, write the entrance test, and then the decision will be communicated to you on your eligibility or your acceptance onto the program. So my colleague, Dr. Fano Mashau, will share with you about our Doctor of Business Administration as well as the PhD in Leadership Studies. And it's been my privilege to share with you this information. I hope you will consider joining us and prayerfully consider the way forward for your careers. God bless you. Bye-bye. I'm available for Q&A after the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you. As he introduced me, my name is Pano Mashau, and I'm going to introduce to you our 3 research degrees offering. If you're wondering, a research degree is an advanced study program that gives you an opportunity to explore deeply the topic of your choice. So these programs are designed for candidates with an inquiring mind, passion to solve problems, and desire to advance humanities. We have, as I said, 3 research degrees, which is Master of Commerce Leadership Studies. We have Doctor of Business Administration, and we have Doctor of Philosophy Leadership Studies. Right? You have to note that all these programs can be completed also with publications. I'm going to introduce you to our first Master of Commerce Leadership Studies, which is our first research degree, which is designed for working professional in an organizational leadership position. So this program gives candidates an opportunity to address challenges that they observed in their workplaces, problems that they're experiencing in society through a research study. So to apply for this program, you'll be required to have 4 years honors degree or any other relevant NQF level 8 qualification. You will also be required to have a research methodology or have passed a research methodology module in your previous degree. You can apply for this program either full-time or part-time. The difference between the two is the number of semesters that you're given to complete the study. At the end of this program, you'll be required to produce a supervised dissertation of 40,000 words on a topic of your choice, of course, approved by the school. And you will be required to present your research proposal. We all, in the school, we have 2 doctoral degrees, as my colleague introduced, 2 doctoral degrees, which is, now these doctoral degrees are designed for students that want to make a contribution to the body of knowledge. We have 2 doctoral degrees. We have Doctor of Business Administration, which is a doctoral degree that combines academic rigorous and managerial relevance. So this is aimed to produce scholars that make active intellectual contribution to organization and the business world. So to qualify for this program, all you need to have is a master's, a relevant master's degree. I will tell you more about the other requirements that you need to have before you apply after introducing you to the next doctoral degree. So what you're going to, you'll be required to produce at the end of this program, you'll be required to produce an 80,000 words thesis, which is supervised by our capable academics in the school. And then you'll also be required to produce a journal article that will be submitted to an accredited journal. And we also produce with a list of accredited journals. Our second doctoral degree is Doctor of Philosophy Leadership Studies. So this is another supervised degree that is designed for students that aspire to make a contribution in the body of knowledge in the field of leadership studies. Right? So of course their studies will have implication on organizations, communities, and the societies that they reside in. So to qualify for this Doctor of Philosophy Leadership Studies, you will be required to have a relevant master's degree at NQF level 9. And then to complete the Doctor of Philosophy program, you'll be required also to produce an 80,000 words thesis and submit a journal article to one of the accredited journals. Ladies and gentlemen, to apply for all these research programs, you'll be required to produce a comprehensive curriculum vitae. You'll be required to produce a cover letter that details that you have prospects to complete the study within the minimum number of semesters that are given for each program. You'll be also required to produce a concept note that explains and details the study that you're going to undertake. If you're applying for our PhD programs, we will also require your master's dissertation. You will also be required for all the programs, you're also required to produce an academic record, identification documents, and if you are an international student, we'll also require that you produce a letter, circular letter verifying your qualification. For all these degrees, you need to know that we don't have formal classes, but we have a series of workshops and webinars to support all the students that are registered in these programs. Those are our 3 research degrees that we have in the school. I'm going to introduce you to our alumni and also our current students to give you a perspective of, to give their perspective about the business school. We have with us Mr. Christopher Holton, who is a Chief Finance Officer of Zungu Elgin, and he was also a student at our postgrad diploma in leadership studies. We also, the second speaker is going to be Ms. Ugeshni Verasamy Mudlia, who is a revenue manager at Talk Show South Africa. She graduated cum laude with our MBA. And then we're also going to have a third talk from our current student, who is Ms. Silindile Kanyile, who is an editor at Isolezwe, which is one of the biggest newspapers in South Africa. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Firstly, 3 minutes. I've got about 3 minutes to talk. I don't think it gives justice to the course that I did, certainly. I did the postgrad diploma in leadership. I've spent many years in business, probably about 2 decades, and most of those at management and C-suite. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out where we are and being reasonably successful. I think the first thing we need to note is what I looked for when I looked for a course was I wanted to understand what did I need, what did I want. I looked at ethics, I looked at an MBA, and what I found was when I looked back, it was pretty easy to find good managers. It was very hard to find good leaders. And when you're talking about leadership are those that make hard decisions. They virtually never recognized for making those decisions. But what they do is they create success out of complex situations. And when I say complex, you're going to learn a lot of words. You're going to learn things like complexity, holistic. You're gonna systemic. All these wonderful things that you hear, but you never quite understand. The leadership course for me explained a lot of the theory behind the practice that I was already doing. And I take my hat off to GSB&L. I think the lecturers were very, very well versed in their subjects. They incorporated the class, they listened, and they taught. One thing you need to realize about this course, and I think I'm trying to pack it all into my 3 minutes, is that the UKZN is a research university, so they take research very, very seriously. And if you put your effort into the research, you're going to get out a wealth of information, things that you never saw, examples and practical efforts of how you can use these studies in your life. It's certainly taken me further, because when I was midway through my course, I had left my previous job. I'd started my own consultancy business, which actually is based in my passion, which is leadership and strategy. And at the moment, it's done me very well. It's opened my eyes, it's opened my heart, and certainly I would love to go further in my studies. I've just got to try and get the time. When we're talking about time, use your classmates. We had everything from pastors to engineers to myself, whose financial background, in our class, and the wealth of cultural difference and practical experience. Use that. Don't think you can do it on your own. Your classmates are a wonderful crutch. They help you and they lead you. The lecturers and the leaders in the courses, they're open doors. They help you. They really, really make this worth your while. So use every opportunity you have, and take the time to read, research, record, and make notes. Because when you have to do your assignments, I take my hat off to somebody who has to do an 80,000 word document, because when we had to do 15 to 20, 25,000 words, you suddenly realize how many words that is. And it takes time to put that together. So guys, I wish you all the best. And please note that I'm available for anybody that might need any information on the practical side of the course, and how I achieved it. Because for me, it's about the mentorship and leadership of people that will take this country into a different place. These last 4 months have shown what we need in leadership. It's also shown probably what we're lacking in leadership and what we have to do. So take the course seriously. What you put in is what you're going to get out of it. So I urge you all to really, really take it and take every single cent of this, what you can do with it, because it'll open your minds. It will blow your minds, honestly. Was that 3 minutes? And then I'll hand over to Yugeshni.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yugeshni Veerasamy Mudlia, and this year I graduated with my MBA cum laude. My experience studying at the UKZN Graduate School of Business and Leadership has been a transformational, empowering, and fulfilling one, not only for the practical business lessons it teaches, but also for the way it has altered my view of the world. I've surely left the program being a different person from when I've entered it. The approach to education here is more applicable to real life. From the coursework deliverables, we looked at real problems from case studies and learned how to solve them. The best part of the experience was definitely the people. From the lecturers to the other students, it was an opportunity to network, and I also enjoyed interacting with managers, entrepreneurs, CEOs, scientists, doctors, and academic professionals from different backgrounds and sectors that I would not ordinarily interact with on a daily basis. The knowledge gained from this interaction was invaluable. Postgraduate studies teaches you not only to think outside of the box, but around the corners to find and implement practical solutions. I would say this qualification has helped improve my capabilities and enhanced my decision-making and problem-solving managerial attributes. It is worthwhile having this qualification as it keeps me relevant and competitive in an already tough and challenging economic market. My dissertation that was supervised by Prof. Casimeris examined the factors that affect lapse rates in the short-term insurance industry. My research has made an impactful and useful contribution to the insurance industry. The industry is operating within a constantly changing socioeconomic environment, and it is imperative that they understand how to manage insurance lapses, cater to their client changing needs, and improve client retention. I would say studying for an MBA part-time has been enjoyable yet challenging. I had to sacrifice family and personal time in order to fit both my studies and my full-time job. However, I am fortunate to have had the support from my family and from my supervisor, Prof. Mickey, who have kept me motivated and constantly encouraged me to finish my research. My advice to the prospective students is to take full advantage of everything this program has to offer. Do not underestimate how fast time will go. Make the most of it, get involved, and create an open and collaborative atmosphere with your other students. As Malcolm X once said, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. I wish you all the best in your future studies. Thank you. I'm going to hand over now to Silindile.
Thanks, Yukeshni. Hi, guys. Morning. My name is Silindile Kanyile. I am currently studying for a Master of Commerce in Leadership Studies through coursework, so it is part-time. I'll focus primarily on the transition we've had to make post-COVID-19. So as already mentioned, ordinarily we would attend block lectures for a week. We had attended for 2 modules, but the third one was scheduled for April and we could not attend anymore because it was during lockdown. What I found once the dust had settled, so to speak, and we were all we had adapted to the lockdown, I have found the support from the university during this transition incredibly amazing because, for starters, you know, they have been very flexible with due dates for assignments because you will understand, you know, what the outbreak of COVID-19 has done. It has impacted our lives, you know, from a health point of view and even financially, because there are people who have been retrenched, there are people who've taken salary cuts, and there are people who've lost loved ones, you know, and there are people who have been infected. So it has just caused chaos, you know, all around. And it has been important. The support from the university has been absolutely important. And that is why I say I've appreciated the flexibility with the due dates for assignments. During the transition as well, the university has also, you know, come on board with things such as data bundles, and those data bundles have been very generous. I must be honest, even if you are working, as most of us as postgrad students are, you know, we have appreciated that, as well as the virtual lectures. So, for example, the block that we could not then attend in April, eventually we've had one online, and it was as smooth and as seamless as we would have, you know, had we had it face to face, because we were still able to engage with the lecturer as well as colleagues. And that has been important. And in fact, personally, going forward, I would actually like, to have the choice of either, studying online or attending face-to-face, because I've also found that the advantage with virtual lectures is that, one, you don't have to take time off work, because when you attend block lectures, you have to take time off work. And also, if for whatever reason, the scheduled time for the lecture, you are not available, you can always log on to Moodle whenever, you then have time, because the virtual sessions are also recorded. Of course, the disadvantage is you miss out on engaging, with your colleagues and the lecturer, because you can't do that if you're obviously accessing the recorded session. But other than that, I mean, I think it's really a small price to pay. So I have appreciated that. And it was frustrating at the beginning because we were not sure whether the academic year would continue or not. But once, the university started communicating and they had their ducks in the row, the transition has been absolutely seamless. And it also, I guess we had to put into practice kind of immediately what largely you learn, at postgrad level, where you have to be agile and adaptable. And, you will see a lot of the literature at this level also talks about how technology has taken over. And of course, technology has come to our rescue as well. And though it has been frustrating at some level and challenging, but it has been a useful experience. And we've actually got to put into practice all the literature that, we have been learning, which is what, as well as either aspiring or current, business leaders, is what, we need to be able to do in challenging times, be it we leading our own companies or we leading companies where we are employed. And I think I'll leave it there and just say to you guys, good luck. And I will also, I think before I would like to just emphasize as well what Chris said about how a business school is really useful to build a network. Use the network, guys. You meet people. I mean, I'm a media practitioner, but I have engineers, there are financiers, there are librarians, there are business development managers from all sorts of industries. Use the opportunity to build the network, but also importantly, be disciplined. As flexible as the university has been, be disciplined. And with COVID, look at it this way: there are no bridal showers, baby showers, and all these other things that take up our time. So just knuckle down, get to it, be disciplined, focus, and you will be fine. Good luck. And I've enjoyed the first 6-7 months with UKZN, and let's see. Thanks.
I thank our alumni and our current student for sharing the reflections of your interesting, unique, and very personal learning experiences. Indeed, it's very, 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 very interesting to see how each one of you have gained in your personal experience with the Graduate School of Business and Leadership. Our school is very fortunate to have a group of prominent industry experts who bring added value to the learning experience of our students. And today, I'm very pleased to have with us our next guest, Dr. Augusta Dorning, who is a Group Head of Africa Business at LenMed Management Company. Dr. Dorning, the stage is all yours in this interactive session. Thank you. Just while we get Dr. Dorning to kick in, I think at times the internet may be a little bit tricky with us. So I think we've just lost her at the moment. So while we try to get her back, I can just introduce a little bit more, there will be an interactive session of around about 10 minutes where Dr. Dorning will brief us on how to remain relevant during and post COVID-19. So I'm sure we're all very keen to listen to what Dr. Augusta Dorning will share with us as soon as she gets on board. And please remember, all participants, that you will be engaging in a poll. We will direct you to the poll at the time when it will come up. After Dr. Dorning has made her brief, you will have an opportunity to pose further questions to the panelists. And at that stage, we'll also be addressing further Q&A that has been coming in while our speakers have been engaging in this virtual open day. I see there are many questions coming through. Our panelists have been doing a very, very, very good effort to attend to all these questions while our panelists have been, and our guests have been having a conversation with us and sharing their experiences. I do reiterate that any questions that may be unanswered while we are live with you, rest assured we shall provide each and every one of you with answers. And also remember that our website has a lot of information, so should you require any further information that you may not have remembered to ask while you are actively involved here in this open day, there's always an opportunity to visit our website and also to communicate directly with any other person. Just give me a moment, please, because I have to take a call from Dr. Augusta Dorning. Hazel, can you step in, please?
Maybe colleagues, let's just deal with the questions and answers. Mickey, can we take a look at the Q&A and then respond to some of those while Dr. Dorning reconnects? There is a question from Verushka Rampasad, who's saying that she has an MBA. So does this mean she can't complete a PhD?
Hazel, we did respond to Verusha, and we've explained to her that with the MBA, she can pursue a DBA with our school as well. So she'll be eligible for that, and obviously there's a selection process. But probably Dr. Mashao would want to add more to that.
Thank you, Dashen. You explained it very well. So yes, she can apply for either a PhD and a DBA. Remember, the difference between the two is the type of inquiry that the study will make. So you put together your application, decide if you or which one of the two you want to apply, and send. We still have to go through your application, read through your concept note, look through your previous qualifications, and the marks and academic performance in general to select. Remember, we also receive a lot of applications, so we still have to go through the vetting process to select the number of students that we can accommodate. Thank you.
Thanks. Tashen, maybe you can address this one from Petrus Kodisa, who just wants to get an idea of the costs. How much does it cost to do an MBA first year? Can you just give us a rough estimate?
Okay, roughly the MBA fee for the first year, let me just make sure I get my facts in order here, Hazel, because we've had a few changes. Okay, so the MBA, the total cost of the MBA is 140,000, but for the first year, it's approximately 80,000. Each module on the MBA is approximately 9,500. So these are figures that I'm sharing with you that are obviously not for 2021, but the current approximate cost for 2020. So the overall cost for an MBA with our university is 140,000, and the first year of that is 80,000.
Thanks, Tashen. I see we have Dr. Donning back. Prof. Martins has introduced Dr. Donning. So we will just hand over now to Dr. Donning. Dr. Donning, the virtual stage is yours.
Welcome back, Dr. Dorning. We're happy to see you back. We're almost there. Yeah, I think we're really having complications here with the internet.
Okay, while she connects.
Okay. Maybe we can take a few questions, Hazel. Maybe we can take a few questions from the panelists in the meantime, because we see quite a few. I have answered all.
No. Can I come in, Chair?
Yes, please, fine.
Well, there's a question regarding source of funding for PhDs and master's degrees. Yes, we do have a lot of support we give a lot of support to the students. For PhDs, you do get a PhD grant to assist you with your study. I'm not 100% sure of how much you can get, but there's a panel of academics that review our application and give you and allocate funds regarding depending on what you're applying for. And qualifying students also could get a fee remission. So you need to apply first, and then there is also selection criteria that a panel of academics get in order to select students that qualify for fee remission. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Fano, for that. I do see a question, and probably has already been unanswered. Some participants and some future students are questioning whether they should do a DBA or a PhD, and sometimes the difference is a very, very fine line. Dr. Fano, do you want to clarify a little bit there? Between a DBA and a PhD. If an MBA student, can the MBA student go straight, which line should the MBA student go to? The PhD or the DBA?
So it's
but yes.
Thank you. So what is important here is that we have a Doctor of Philosophy Leadership Studies. So this is designed for students that want to conduct a study that relates to the field of leadership studies, right? So if you have an inquiry and then you are sure that you want to make contribution to the body of knowledge in that field, then you have to apply for our Doctor of Philosophy Leadership Studies. But we also have a doctoral degree, which is a Doctor of Business Administration, which now this one combines academic rigorness and managerial relevance, as I said earlier, that now here, instead, it's not only leadership contribution to the body of knowledge in terms of leadership studies, but also in business, in terms of business studies. So mostly people, students that come from MBA qualifications, they have research topics that relates to business administration. That's why they tend to register for business administration, a Doctor of Business Administration. So that's the difference. The difference between the two is the type of inquiry that the study will make. Thank you.
Absolutely. And even more so, if we could also actually emphasize the point that if the candidate, the doctoral candidate, has got a particular inquiry that is directly related to the company they are working in, and they need to do action research, then yes, it is better to do a DBA, a doctoral in business administration, as opposed to the PhD, which is the normal philosophy, Doctor of Philosophy, because in a doctoral of business administration, they would be able to do the so-called action learning and go through the different cycles and go back into the company and have the group of actual inquiries and the actual participants that are part of the sample. So it's very much hands-on as opposed to a more theoretical PhD. So essentially, for our future PhD, that is the line of inquiry that we need to look at. Thank you, Dr. Mashal, for elucidating these points. I think we're connecting again with our Dr. Augusta Dorning. She is able to hear us because I can see a smile on her face. Yes. Dr. Augusta, thank you. Good to see you back. Are you able to hear us? Yes.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Well, thank you and good morning to everybody. As you can see, adaptability and flexibility have certainly become part of this situation today, as our Wi-Fi at home just absolutely collapsed on me. But thank you all for your patience. So just before we start, the GSB&L has prepared a lovely survey that I would like you to take. So may I ask everyone just to check what is in front of you? There should be 3 questions. Can everyone see the questions? Right. So the first question, just take a moment and don't think too hard about this, but did you learn anything new about yourself during lockdown? The next question is, when using technology for meetings, did you find that you contributed more, less, or the same? And then the final question, did you use the time working remotely to acquire a new skill? Right. Would everyone like to quickly finalize so that we can have a look at the poll? Okay, everyone finishing off on their questions? Okay, so while we're waiting for the poll to tally, I'd like to chat to you all this morning, obviously from an industry perspective, but during the course of this year, we all became acutely aware of our own health needs and the needs of those around us. And as you all know, I work in the healthcare industry. I've been in the industry for 36 years, and in my time within industry, I have never experienced anything such as this. So let's look at the first question. And amazingly, 96.8% of you answered that you did learn anything new about yourself during lockdown, and 3.2% answered no. Incredible. And then when using technology for meetings, did you find that you contributed more, less, or the same? And this is very interesting because 38.7% found that they had contributed more. And then, interestingly enough, almost 20% found that they had contributed less. And then almost 42% found that they had contributed the same. When working remotely, did you use the time to acquire a new skill? And this is a phenomenal 77.4%. So nearly 78% of us took the time to acquire a new skill. Absolutely incredible. And I'm going to talk a little bit more to you all about that in a few minutes. So thank you very much to the GSB&L for running the survey. And I'm sure many of you have found that interesting. So during this time, I just did a little bit of research as well, because obviously data access was key to what we were all experiencing. And it was really heartening to hear Slindile actually mentioned that there'd been extra data available from UKZN, which I think is an incredible and a most noble gesture on the part of the business school, because access in South Africa, by the latest poll, is limited, if you want to see it in that way, to 55% of the population. So what did the other 45% do for access to all these online learning modalities? And of course, we won't even go into all the other modalities that one needs to have access to. But just to come back to some of my original opening thoughts, personally, this was a time during which anxiety and change presented in huge measures. If you were not able to adapt to a virtual working space and a virtual learning space, you found this time incredibly challenging. But as we saw in the survey results, the opportunity for development was significant. And people who made use of the time that they would ordinarily spend traveling, shopping, and socializing did so to develop new skills. You also started to take your office not for granted, and now you needed to really make an effort to connect with others. And in the business space, many of us rely on face-to-face meetings in order to build rapport and ultimately close a deal or actually develop our business. And this became more challenging. So there were no more business lunches, no more business dinners, no more meeting for coffee to start to grow a relationship and actually build your business. And we had to adapt to this environment and take this to a new level. So in my particular industry, how did this influence us? So as you know, ordinarily when you don't feel well, you make an appointment to see your doctor. This became much more challenging. And in fact, it wasn't so much making the appointment that became challenging, but it was in actual fact bringing yourself to see a doctor, because hospitals and doctors' waiting rooms, dentists' waiting rooms became areas of concern from a personal safety point of view. And this extended again within the theme of anxiety to what you could be bringing home to your family, and especially elderly relatives or relatives who live with comorbidity and the challenges of diabetes, hypertension, and some of the other ailments, of course, respiratory issues and cardiac issues, which could be significantly impacted by your personal behavior. So within the context of leadership, personal behavior, personal responsibility, and how you behave and lead from the front has been a dominating theme of this particular period, which now, as you know, has extended well beyond 100 days. I beg your pardon. So when leadership studies are ultimately contemplated, the old acronym of PLOC, planning, leading, organizing, and controlling, is often seen as quite outdated. But I must share with you all that during this particular time, this particular acronym has really come to the fore. Planning within the healthcare industry has been a central feature, and many of you would have seen in the public space how the provision of PPE, logistics, medical oxygen, etc., has been a forerunner, not to mention, of course, the provision of additional beds and equipment for the ICU and high care settings within hospitals, both across the public and the private space. People have also chosen to buy far more products online, and this has, of course, not been common to the healthcare industry. But whereas you may have gone into your local pharmacy and taken advice across the counter from your pharmacist or the primary healthcare nurse in the clinic in your pharmacy, you have chosen to use Dr. Google. And of course, we can't always guarantee what your results may have been or what your healthcare outcome may have been in that particular situation. But people have adapted. So for companies who weren't in an online space and who weren't prepared, people who didn't have laptops, didn't have access to to using technology, companies had to adapt very quickly to make these resources available. And I must say, I think South Africa has really done well as far as that has been concerned. And then I'd like to just talk briefly about personal branding and corporate branding within the virtual space. This has been a massive challenge, and I was greatly inspired by the initial webinars that UKZN presented, where the beautiful backdrop to all the lecturers from UKZN showcased the UKZN brand very well. Now, ordinarily, I showcase my corporate brand against the LenMed icon, but due to the IT challenge today, I'm now sitting in my husband's very well-equipped study talking to you all, but ordinarily, I would have the LenMed icon in the background. And I congratulate UKZN on such a speedy and very, very professional response to the virtual reality that we found ourselves in. It certainly inspired me. So thank you to all. So in these times, just to come back to my original point, the access to education, healthcare, and data have all become very meaningful and very concerning topics for the future of South Africa, particularly in the spaces of education. And I congratulate UKZN for reaching out to students and providing this blended learning method in such a responsive and a kind way. So thank you all for your time, and I apologize for the delay, but fortunately we were able to adapt. And I remain open to questions. If there's anybody that would like to link up with me for any mentorship advice within healthcare, I am a LinkedIn learning mentor, and you're welcome to access my profile on LinkedIn and reach out to me for any advice you may require. I do lecture and assist at UKZN as and when appropriate. So if there's anybody that would like to contact me for pro bono advice in that regard, you are most welcome. Thank you all very much for your time, and I'll hand back to Prof. Martins at this stage. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dorning. Indeed, we thank you for your most insightful brief and for sharing your experience during this time of adaptability, agility, and how one needs to develop oneself in these uncertain times. We also appreciate the fact that you are part of our prominent industry expert group at the Graduate School of Business and Leadership, because indeed your added value is most important for our students and for our academics as well. Now we initiate the Q&A, so we would appreciate that any questions that our participants may have, that you please share them via the Q&A button, and of course our panelists will now take these on. So we may begin. So I ask the colleagues
Prof.
also. Yes.
Prof, we have a question for Yukeshni from Mbongeni Taga. Mbongeni just wants Yukeshni to tell him about her study, what it was about briefly, and how he can access it. He's also asking if Slindile has come up with a topic, but I doubt it. So Sli, if you have, you can share that with Mbongeni. Over to you, Yukeshni.
Thanks, Hazel. My dissertation was on examining examining the factors that affect lapse rates in the short-term insurance industry in South Africa. So basically I looked at the policy characteristics that affect lapse rates, the macroeconomic variables that affect lapse rates, and strategies to try and mitigate lapse rates in the short-term insurance industry. My research should be available on the UKZN library.
Hi. I do have a topic that I have submitted, but I am waiting for Dr. Mashau to indicate if it will be approved. But I am looking at a new trend in the media industry there are publications which are now donor funded. Traditionally, as you may be aware, media organizations generate their revenue from advertising. But in recent years, we've seen organizations which are funded through donors. So I am keen to look at whether the donor-funded model is sustainable or not, especially in light of the disruption that has happened in the media industry and all the challenges that we have seen in the last decade or so. Internationally, it started around 2007. Here in South Africa, there are at least 2 publications that are doing really well. They are both online publications. One is called New Frame and the other one is called Ground Up. Ground Up, not so long ago, you would have seen them. They were in a legal tussle with the National Lottery Commission about one of the articles that they published. So I am looking at both New Frame and Ground Up because they are the most established ones in South Africa. So my study is the donor-funded business model sustainable, a study of New Frame and Ground Up.
Thank you very much, Slindilia. I appeal to the panel, to the participants. If you have any questions that you would like to ask, please address them also to us now. We have Dr. Dorning with us, so if you have any industry question related to your fields of interest, of course, she's with us. So please feel free to ask us any Q&A. Okay.
Prof, we have a question from Petrus again. Petrus is interested in doing an MBA. So the question is, there is so much criticism in the media about the MBA program, such as that the program is no longer relevant to the market. So as the UK is in GSB&L, how do we make the program remain relevant in a sustainable way?
Thank you, Mickey.
May I answer that question? Yes, no, thank you for that. I have seen some of the debate in the media. It's been for many years. People have said it's not relevant, etc. However, I think if, as an economist, you should look at supply and demand. And if you look at the number of people that have been applying and graduating with their MBA degrees and their career trajectories and how well they've been doing in business, I think there's a lot of evidence to support that the MBA is still very relevant and needed and necessary, especially in South Africa, where skills development is a real priority for the country. And also the MBA, which we're very pleased about, is that on our programs, typically we try to have at least 2 industry specialists to speak to each module. And also the modules are regularly revised, the material is updated. Some of the fundamental principles remain the same, but as you know, from the beginning of this year versus what we face now in South Africa and the economy, things have changed significantly, especially with lockdown. And these are some of the matters that we analyze and engage with on the MBA program, the contemporary developments each year. So each year, although the module name remains the same, the contents evolves and develops and is specific to the context that we found. But the principles, the underlying principles, the values and all that, a lot of that remains the same, but the context evolves and changes, and we change and adapt with that. So I hope that assists you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mickey. Yes, you've encapsulated exactly the agility that even the prospective MBA student needs to have in the terms of mindset. Yes, we will never see the world as it was. Our offices won't be the same anymore, and the business world won't be the same as it was pre-COVID. So yes, everything will change, but yes, the principles are there. The basic historical principles, the theories are there, but we'll also just have to adapt those into the new world. Yes, as you've stated. Thank you. Hazel, do we have any question that is being addressed?
We have another one from Tafatwa. Maybe Dashen can assist us, or Fano. Tafatwa would like to know about the closing dates for applications for the DBA, especially with all the COVID-19 disruptions. So when do we close? Are we closing? Yeah.
Thank you, Hazel. Oh, okay, Dashen.
Okay, Fana, I don't know if you want to go ahead. I was just going to say all our DBA and PhD applications are open actually throughout the year. But I think maybe, Fana, you can give them a more pointed answer about what are we doing in terms of COVID and close of applications and enrollment targets for DBA and PhDs.
Yes, if you are looking to get to make it for the 2021 intake, you have to send through your application before the 31st of October. Then, because by November, towards the end of the year, so that we can reply to your application for 2021 intake. So the closing date is the 31st of October.
We have a question. I think this one is also very important. Anonymous would like to know the difference between the MCOM research that is done, I think, in the School of MIG, Management, IT and Governance, and the MCOM research that is done at the GSB&L.
Fano, would you like to respond to that, please?
I didn't get that, Prof.
Okay, the difference between the MCOM research that is done at MIG, at the School of Management and Governance, and the one that is done with the business school, the MCOM in leadership.
Yes, thank you, Hazel. I got it now. So the difference is is the field of specialization, because the MCOM in MIG, it's MCOM in HR, MCOM in management, marketing, IST, and then here at the business school we have Master of Commerce Leadership Studies. So that's the difference between the programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Fano. Hazel, would we have any more prominent questions?
We've covered most of them.
Hazel?
Yes,
there was a question from Dr. Kieran, and he wanted to know about our electives on the MBA. Probably one of the panelists can answer this. We have a number of electives that we have in our brochure, but we normally only offer two, and we can only offer two every year. But the question was, what are the content of all the different electives, and how do we decide on which electives to actually offer? So I'm not too sure who can answer that for him.
Mickey, would you be able to give us a bit of a context here, please?
Sorry, I was responding to another question.
Thank you.
I would have to hear that question again, because I was responding to another question as you were speaking.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mickey, essentially the question is, we have at least 6 different electives on the MBA program, but normally, for the last year or two, we've been offering just innovation, entrepreneurship, and investment and portfolio. So the question was, what are the content of the other electives, and how do we actually decide which electives to offer in a particular year?
Yes. The content of the other electives are all established in accredited modules that have been approved by SACWA and CHE. So these are offerings that we may offer, but very often what happens is supply and demand, and we cannot offer all the electives every year. And so historically what's been happening is students have selected those modules that they feel most are appropriate for the career path that they're willing to pursue, and that could really equip them going forward. So the electives are there, but I think the demand for the various modules normally determines which ones we will offer. They are available, and so they will be considered. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mickey, for that clarification. And I hope the participant feels a little bit more elucidated. Hazel, are there any more questions that we need to take into account right now? And then if more come, as I said, we will obviously take them and provide an answer to that question. Otherwise, it seems that we are coming to the end.
If one does not qualify, does not have an NQF level 7 qualification for our postgrad programs, do we provide alternative entry routes in the form of maybe bridging courses or something like that? Did you get that?
Yes.
So this is someone who doesn't get an NQF level 7 qualification for entry into our postgrad diplomas. What do they need?
Yes, no, we do not provide any bridging courses. You're going to have to come to the business school, make your application, meeting the minimum criteria. We're a postgraduate school, so we do not offer any undergraduate offerings. Our sister schools in the college, they do offer bachelor's and honors and related degrees. So you would have to approach them, School of Management, IT and Governance, for example, School of Accounting, Economics and Finance. They're available on our website at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Make inquiries with them about completing your undergraduate degree, and then you'll be in a position to apply for our postgraduate degrees. I hope this assists you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mickey, for that clarification. We have a hands up from one of the guests, Louis Akpan. Hazel?
Shakira, are you able to let Louis go live?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Louis.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. And how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Please, I graduated from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Currently, I'm in Nigeria, and I had PhD in history of education. I came again and did a master's in leadership, and currently, I wanted to enroll for MBA, and I don't know when will the form will be out so that I can apply for MBA. Can you give me get me through on how to or when the period for the form is out?
Thank you, Dashen. Would you like to take that?
Louis, thank you for the question. All applications are open for all programs at the Graduate School of Business. You need to visit our website, and we have a fast link on the website. It says apply now. If you click that link, it'll take you to all what you need to know about applying for any of our programs, including the MBA. So it gives you a full rundown of all the things you need to have in readiness before you file your application. So go to the website, visit it. It's quite a user-friendly website. Look under, as I said, apply now, and then it shows you what you need to do or what you need to have before you can actually file the application. So you can do that immediately if you wish to, Louis. It is open, and as we said, applications close for all our programs on the 31st of October.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dashen. We can take one more question. We have a question from Nuna Danka and also from the participants. So can we allow? Thank you. Hello, Nuna. You with us?
Mute, Nuna. Unmute. Nuna.
Hi, how are you? Hi, ma'am, how are you?
You can go ahead, please, with your question.
I hold an honors degree in public administration from UKZN. I'm interested in studying towards MBA. I made my application online, but I haven't received a response. So I wanted to check if there is a particular time where you start responding to applications, or should I keep on waiting? Because I did not know whether my application went through since I haven't received the response, or I need to start again and redo the application. I did not know.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Tashin, can we just elucidate that, please?
Nuna, just to confirm, did you get a return mail indicating that your application has been logged?
Yes, I did receive that one.
Okay, great. And obviously you've done the proof of payment for your application as well. So if you've got the notice and you've done the proof of payment, that means your application is with us. You just need to make sure that when you did your proof of payment, you did put in the reference number as APPN and your entire registration number. If that all was done, then we definitely will have your application. We're currently looking at applications. Applications only started on the 1st of June. And obviously with trying to find out how we're going to proceed with 2021, we've taken a little bit of time to make sure that, we know the mode of delivery and all of those things that are involved with the delivery for 2021. So we are busy looking into applications now. So the next thing you will receive after your application is vetted is a possibility of going for the psychometric or the testing for the MBA. So we will be in touch with you, Nuna. Thank you very much for the application.
Thank you very much, Dashen, and thank you very much for the questions that have been raised. Okay, now I'm bringing this virtual open day to a close. So I would like to thank each and every one of you who has made the time and efforts to be with us during this Graduate School of Business and Leadership Virtual Open Day. Indeed, for all our guests and our colleagues, your active engagement today is very much appreciated and most inspiring, which I hope our prospective students will consider. So therefore, I encourage you to apply and urge you to visit our website. And thank you everybody for bearing with us in those few glitches that there were because of the IT and all the connections, but we made it. Thank you everybody and have a beautiful weekend and stay well. And hope to see you soon in the graduate school. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.